Cereal time, cereal time, cereal time, whoa.
What's up, cereal heads? Today we're going to talk about Nut and Honey Crunch. Now this cereal has a long, complicated, convoluted history. Kellogg's must have had a hard time selling it to the public because they were anything but consistent on their naming/marketing of the cereal. We know that around 1979-ish, Kellogg's introduced a cereal called Honey and Nut Corn Flakes, a twist on their popular Corn Flakes cereal. They even had a Honey Nut Crow mascot. Now this guy never appeared on boxes or in commercials as far as I can tell, but he did appear in print ads. Here's a commercial for the stuff from the early 80s.
Kellogg's Honey and Nut Corn Flakes, can you see it?
Nuts right on the plate.
Can you hear it?
Sounds crunchy.
Can you taste it?
Honey, nuts, and corn.
It's the Honey and Nuts that make it Kellogg's Honey and Nut Corn Flakes.
Can you give me another bowl?
Simple ad talking about the cereal, right? By about 1986, they switched the ad campaign up a little bit.
Which makes them quite the most irresistible breakfast cereal imaginable. Kellogg's Honey Nut Corn Flakes. The trouble is, they taste too good.
And that was just for the US version. See, around the same time, they were selling the cereal in the UK, and they had a similar ad campaign, including this commercial with someone you might recognize.
It's because they're encrusted with honey, nuts, and brown sugar that they stay crunchy and delicious to the very last flake. Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Corn Flakes. The trouble is they taste too good.
Yes, that was indeed Dr. House himself, Hugh Laurie. And you'll notice the name of the cereal over there in the UK was Crunchy Nut Corn Flakes. Now back here in the US in 1987, Honey and Nut Corn Flakes were nowhere to be seen. Instead, they were replaced by Nut and Honey Crunch. This one is from 1989. And you can see on the back of the box here, they were clearly trying to appeal to kids. They had some cool little drawings and a few little trivia questions about nuts and honey. And of course, this version had the most memorable ad campaign of all.
Wow.
What you eating, babe?
Nothing, honey.
Oh, you can tell me.
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch.
So what makes it taste so good?
Nothing, honey.
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch.
Looks good, Private. What is it?
Nothing, honey.
You love the honey, you love the nut.
I love these ads. This is when I first discovered the cereal. In 1992, they changed the box art, but at least they kept the name the same. It's just a little more sleek and modern looking. The back of this box featured the Daily Flake newspaper, a fictional paper with some silly articles and a Daily Flake crossword puzzle. By the mid to late 90s, you couldn't find Nut and Honey Crunch on shelves anymore. But you could find Honey Crunch Corn Flakes, which is the same cereal, just under a different name again.
Sweet honey and nuts baked to an incredible crunch. And under it all, the simple goodness of Kellogg's Corn Flakes, the heart of gold.
Something new that never grows old.
New Kellogg's Honey Crunch Corn Flakes.
Taste of honey and a heart of gold.
Then at some point, Kellogg's stopped making that version, and they rebranded it back to the plain old Crunchy Nut, which is what they've been calling it in the UK for quite some time. But here in the US, they don't market this stuff well at all. Most people probably don't even know that a beloved cereal from the 80s and 90s is still on the shelves, just under a different name. But here it is. Let's take a look. So here you go. Here's what a bowl of Kellogg's Crunchy Nut cereal looks like. You can see it's the same as Nut and Honey Crunch. This stuff is just as good as I remember it from back in the day. I'll be honest, I don't know why they went away from the Nut and Honey Crunch name. That ad campaign was brilliant. People loved it. I think they should bring it back. Although at this point, I don't think they can change the name of the cereal another time. Okay, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay crunchy.
What you eating?
Nut and honey.
Cereal time, cereal